better. That was one thing I believe if I explained it right, that
Mhm.
resonated with me.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, that's one of the questions a lot of people had was the payment history aspect, which makes up a huge chunk, the biggest chunk of your credit report and your credit profile. So it's crucial to understand the payment part. When I was trying to address with everybody was when you're making your payments, wait till you get the bill and then go make the payment. Don't make it late. Some people like to use their card and they pay right away after they use it, literally the same day or the next day. I'll say no, wait till the bill comes, let it process in the system first. Then they'll give you a minimum payment to pay. Don't pay the minimum, of course. Try to pay the thing in full if you can. Do the next best thing and at least pay 10 to 15% more than the minimum payment so that you're not just paying only the interest. And then, of course, there were a lot of other things that I did ship. So, because we have a lot of new
Uh,
people, yep, go ahead.
oh, so a couple of things.
Yes.
I remember early on you spoke about helping a woman. Um, she wanted to do rent to own, so you're helping
Mhm.
her rebuild her credit.
Mhm.
And I also like that you spoke about different side hustles because, like you mentioned, um, like sales, you mentioned real estate, insurance, and you're mentioning like if you're a teacher, like different things that you can do as a side hustle, like online to make
Mhm.
money. So that interests me. And then you
Mhm.
also mentioned, which I heard before, but I like that you reiterated the fact that, for example, if you're about to get a new home,
Mhm.
not to buy a new car.
Mhm.
So a lot of people tend
Yeah.
to purchase a vehicle, and I was in that same position where I wanted to really, really want to get into a new car.
Mhm.
And so you mentioning, get the house, wait a little bit, and then purchase like a newer vehicle.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, there's tricks to the trades with that. The only thing you gotta factor is it's kind of like you have a window of opportunity to buy it. So if you buy a house that stretches out your TDS and your GDS, then I always tell clients get the house mortgage approved first, close, because once you close, the mortgage doesn't go on your credit for like 30 days. It doesn't go right away. Then in that time period, then go and get approved for a car. So by the time they both hit your credit, it wouldn't have shown to hurt your debt ratio because it's not like it's like a little loophole, but as long as you can manage the payments and you're not over leveraging yourself and making sure then I would say that's one loophole you can kind of take advantage of. But I always tell people, don't go and get a car loan before you do a full approval on a mortgage because I've had in the case where a client, these are two things that kill deals, and I'll shake my head. And I told a client not to do that, or at least talk to me first. One was one client moved and changed jobs before they closed. And so what that did was you got approved based on your history on your old job and your income on your old job, even though the other job paid more, the fact that they had basically changed the whole application. So the lender actually backed out of the deal and the person couldn't close. And so we couldn't close on that deal. We had to actually go to a private lender and structure the whole deal different. It became more expensive. So don't do that. Don't quit your job and find another job while you're in the process of being approved for a mortgage and closing on the house. Number two, don't go buy a big asset or some purchase and bring more liability into the game because some lenders, not all the time, some lenders may check your credit right before you close. I've had a couple of lenders just to make sure everything's the same. They don't do this a lot, but it's just a rare occasion they do. And in case you just happen to mess up, that's not good. But I've had lenders where they at the end they check to make sure that the credit is still at par and that there's no new credits on the profile. And so if you do get new credits on the profile before you close your mortgage, they will ding you and then they will back out of the deal. So lenders, as much as they want to give you money, they just want to also make sure that the risk analysis or risk assessment that they did on the file is the same at closing. Now, what you do after you close and you get the keys and you get the mortgage done, it's after that's fair game to do whatever you want. But prior to that, you have to understand the game and make sure you don't do those type of things. Now, there's a lot of small things I can share, but that's not what we're here today for. I don't even know where to take this because I feel like we have so many first timers. So to go to now more advanced things, I feel like maybe you guys will get a little bit confused, I was going to have more of a Q&A session where people could ask me questions specific to, it do not have to be personal situation, but if you have specific questions on credit, on real estate, or on mortgages, or anything for that matter, I could address it. So, Pauline, I don't know. I'm thinking, should I spend 10 minutes to do a really quick rundown of the slides? It's like a summary of the slides as opposed to reading it and talking. So I get people just caught up before I jump to the next step.
I think that's a great idea because we have lots of first timers here.
Okay.
And just to give them an idea of what we're talking about, rather than just jumping into Q&A and they don't know. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. So yeah, go over what,
So
the content that we had in the first 2 sessions
okay.
for them.
So for the first timers, then I will ask you guys, so it kind of gives me a gauge as to where I should focus on. I'm gonna ask you guys the questions. Just drop your answer in the chat. All those who said they are here for the very first time, from a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think your credit knowledge is? 10 being you're pro, you're max, like you know everything. 1 being like I don't know anything. 5 meaning I know a little bit, but not too much. I can get by, kind of thing. 6 means, you know what, I know a little bit more than average. Where do you guys rate? Like, where would you rate yourself? Scale 1 to 10 when it comes to credit. Drop it into chat and let me know. As the numbers come in, read them out to me. Let me know as I share my screen. Hopefully you guys permit me to share my screen. See. Beautiful.
All the first timers, can you let us know where you are, your knowledge of credit?
Don't be shy.
Are we allowed to speak? Or
Yes, you are. Yes, yes. If you feel comfortable
Okay.
speaking, go right ahead. Who's speaking right
Okay.
now?
My name is Gloria Otometo.
Okay, thank you, Maria. All right, we have
Gloria.
somebody said
Gloria.
hi.
Gloria. She said Gloria.
Oh, Gloria. So
Yeah.
where do you see yourself, Gloria?
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll say I'm on a maybe 5 or 6. Although
Okay.
when I came to Canada first a couple of months ago, I didn't really get a hang of the credit card system. I thought it was about spending the credit card and then paying back the money. Like I thought it was like using a chunk of the money. Like I was using $1,000 from CIBC, and then I I was paying up to like $700 and then pay the money. And then, just just when the cycle is about to end. And then I would check my credit score. It was just there, like, it wasn't moving. I was wondering, like, what's going on. I was just wondering. So after a while, I watched a YouTube video where someone talked about it. And then they were like, it's not like that. You have to spend like below 30% of the credit card worth and then pay it back as soon as possible. So I began to do that the following month. And then, yeah, it's a lot better now compared to where I began first. So I think with that knowledge so far, it's been getting better by the second round. That's the point I'm at. I don't know. I don't know so much yet anyway. I'm still creating the system, but then I know I'm a lot better than when I just began. So that's my current situation here and how far I've come for my knowledge.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
These are some of the tips that was given in the previous webinars that we had, the first one. So, if you pay too quickly, if you pay too late, and what happens to your score and that kind of thing. So these were some of the tips that was given by Matt to, everyone that was on the session, but it's good that you learn it. I'm not sure if Mac has anything else that he want to add to say to you right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Mac.
I think she mentioned something. She watched it on the YouTube. You guys posted the webinars on YouTube, right? The ones we did.
Yes, we did. Yes.
All right. So out of I guess the new people, has anybody watched some of those replays? Let me know. So yeah, I would really love to see if you guys watch those replays. Okay. So while we wait for those responses, I think what I'll do is, because I have a lot to share, and I do want to share a couple of side hustles and opportunities tonight. I'm not going to elaborate in there, but I want to kind of just give you a little introduction to them. And there's a lot. So I'm only going to give you a little tip of the iceberg today to encourage you guys. I was watching a video before I start credit. I was watching a video about a trader that he basically worked. He's in England. He was considered one of England's best trader during the period he was trading for the Citibank. Came from a poor background, a very, very astute, smart individual, went into economics, and he got hired by the banks as a trader. And what I've learned, a couple of things from watching it, a lot of things I've learned, but what he shared with me was the banks are making millions of dollars. They are making a killing. That the traders themselves, if they're able to make the bank, let's say $35 million, $10 million, they're literally millionaires, where the trader that starts working at the bank, average salary is starting at like 100 to 200,000 pounds. And this wasn't even US dollars, this is pounds. So it made me aware that, man, the banks are making a lot of money and they're not giving us anything, right? The system, he said himself, he said he being inside the system, inside the bank, and being wealthy and also making millions, and he's a millionaire, he has said that the system is rigged against us. It's not designed for the average person to be ahead. To the point where he's such a pessimist, where he says he thinks the only way to get rich is to have rich parents, which I highly disagree with, because there's a lot of people who have become wealthy through various different attributes and saving and investing and all those things, starting businesses. So I strongly believe that if you have the drive, the knowledge, and the know-how, you can create wealth for yourself. And that's why I'm on this kind of like mission to share some of this knowledge with you guys and encourage you guys. And I'm here to tell you, the system is not designed. It's not designed. I say it again. It's not designed for you to get ahead. It's not designed for you to be wealthy. It's designed to protect the system, to allow the system to keep going. How the economy works and how everything works, if you guys don't understand how credit works, it's being used against you. If you don't understand how the business side of things works, it's being used against. If you don't understand how marketing works, it's being used against you. So by understanding the game, you guys can put yourself in a position to now start to use the things that, man, they've been using against us. Chale, me, I said, I'm going to master this thing and now use it also for myself, for my family, and also for my community. And I really am happy you guys are here, because I believe you're not here by accident, and by the grace of God, you're going to attain that knowledge. I hope something I say might kind of ring the door like a light bulb in your head. It's like, aha, you get your aha moment, and it could be a changing factor in your life. So I wanted to share that with you. So we have a huge wealth inequality issue going on with inflation, with monetary spending, with monetary policies, with all the wars going on and so many things going on. The economy, I'm sorry to say, guys, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Meaning worse, let me put it this way. It's going to get worse for those that haven't positioned themselves in a way where they could take advantage of resources and knowledge that they have at their disposal to better themselves. But it will become worse for people who are relying on a 9-to-5 job or just simply one income to help them facilitate not just their lifestyle, but their whole, like, basically retirement. And they don't, not even to talk about leaving money for their kids. That's not even in the radar. And so if we can't understand that the middle class is getting shrunk, we hold the economy and we continue to kind of get squeezed out. If you don't do something today and leverage credit or start a business or a side hustle or something, things will be harder. Even if you're making 100K today, the value of your money is being stolen through inflation, through monetary policies, that $100 will not probably buy as much goods or services today as it can in basically in the next 10 years. It's not going to be able to buy as much as it can today. So it's very important that I encourage you guys, take this seriously. And the knowledge that I'm sharing, I've spent thousands of dollars in years obtaining, and I've lost a lot of money learning. So me sharing it with you is to help you and encourage you. And today you get it for free. So give yourself a pat on the back, clap your hands. Awesome. So let's get into the presentation. It's just going to take 10 minutes to dive into this, and then I'll take some questions. I will present a couple of things and take some questions, because I think when the questions come, they won't stop. So I'll leave the questions to the end so we can just talk. All right, so for those who are joining us for the first time, if you haven't watched the YouTube rerun, please watch the YouTube rerun. I am not going to go and elaborate into these It's already there, so you guys take advantage of that content. Watch it because it's a lot of good information. Surprisingly, when I listen to myself, I actually get more revelations. It's weird because I listen. It's like reading the Bible. You read the Bible over and over. Every time you read the word, it's like you get a different revelation. Why? Because you're different. You get a different level of knowledge. Where you are today and your understanding increases because it increases as you get more information. Now your understanding is deeper, so then you get more revelation. So it's like a compound effect. All right, so take advantage of it. Again, my name is Mark Ansa, and let me start the slideshow here. Okay, I'm just going to take 10 minutes to go through it. All right, my name is Mark Ansa. We did this webinar to help you guys basically find a way on how you create a 6- and 7-figure income or side hustle. And again, it's a big claim, but we believe we can do it. I have been able to create 6 figures. My goal, my personal goal, is to create an online income where I can travel the world everywhere, anywhere I want. I don't want to be location bound. Just because I see where the economy is going, I see all the things the government's doing, and I just don't want to be tied to one area. I want to be able to be flexible. That's my personal goal. All right, so let's skip the question. So credit building, again, most of you guys don't understand the power that credit has. That's why we're here today, to share that with you. We are sitting on a lot of money, millions of dollars, if you can access it, man. If people told me what I know today, if I knew when I was younger, I would have been multi-millionaire by now because I understand the game and I've seen people younger than me leverage credit. And after I ruined my credit, that's when I kind of now learned everything about it. So it's never too late. So it doesn't matter where you are, as long as God has given you the breath of life, you can still continue or you can start again. Don't get discouraged, but it's good to start now. So if you're watching and you're young, take advantage of this. Take advantage of the credit system. The credit system, the government uses it, the bank uses it, everybody uses it. So why not you? All right. So I had a question where I said, what hinders people from pursuing their dreams? Simple answer, number one reason is fear, right? That's what stops a lot of us. I think fear is one of the dream killers, right? In the graveyard, if you were to go to the graveyard, you'll find that a lot of people passed away with their dreams and they never realized it. So I realized to myself, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to bet on myself and pursue my dreams. Whether the odds are stacked against me or no matter what it is, I believe in myself. With God, all things are possible. So I am encouraging myself and moving forward. And ever since, I've started to experience a lot of different things, and God has always been so faithful. So I encourage you guys, don't get discouraged. There is a path for you, right? Don't get discouraged. Don't allow fear to hold you back. A little bit about me: real estate business for the last 16 years. Been an agent, salesperson, worked at the bank, BMO for a couple of years. I've been in mortgages also for like 14 years. An investor for over a decade. Right now, over the last couple of years, I've been spending my time on forex stocks and crypto trading. I want to be a good trader. I want to be $1 million trader. For me personally, I want to know how to trade the forex, the stock, and crypto markets. I'm learning a lot, making money, losing money. That's the game. But I am learning so much. As I'm learning, I'm teaching others and my community as well. All right. Another thing I want to do is be an online marketer and a YouTuber also for the last 1.5 years. That was by accident. And to be honest, I kind of like that journey. And that is also something that I would like to share today and share to you guys. Hey, if you have a business, if you're a nurse, sorry, just different strategies you can use to branch off and create different side incomes apart from your main job. So we'll talk about some of that today. We have the case study with Chandler Murray. I'm not going to get into that. I was the rent-to-own one. Again, refer back to the video that we did do. I do go in depth in the last couple of webinars. It's a good story to note. So what is credit management? Now, credit management is the proactive management of your income and your debt to maximize your cash flow and build credibility. All right, one of the questions was, what model were you taught to achieve success? Now, this model is very common. You all know it. Go to school, get a job, secure your family, get insurance. People don't even do that, to be honest. Save for, into a pension. People don't even do that. Get married, I think people do that. I should add get divorced because that seems very common for some reason. And then number 6 is buy a house, right? And then from there, invest, and then you retire if you're lucky. Now, if you go to Walmart, you probably see a lot of people in their old age working. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be working at an old age. My kind of work in my old age is probably philanthropy and probably doing other things I love to do, spending time with kids, my grandkids. That's what I want to do when I retire. To be honest, I don't want to be working. But
I'm
again,
sorry, Mr. Ansagi, apologize there. Somebody said it's not very clear. Are you able, the
oh,
slides?
the slides are not clear.
Increase the display, yeah.
I think that would have to come to their end. They might have to
Yeah.
increase the size from their computer screen. Because
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
full.
because
I'm
it's
full
clear
here.
for us here too. Anybody else having that issue? Can
Yeah.
anybody just let us know if it's clear
It's
for
clear
them or
for
not?
me. It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear.
I think it's
Okay,
that.
thank you. So
Yeah,
maybe it's from Gloria, check yours. Maybe it's from yours.
yeah.
Thank
Just
you.
check the size of the screen of the browser.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, cool. All right, so continuing, we have retire then funeral. And of course, the problem with this model is that it doesn't work anymore. And you know why it doesn't work? A lot of people don't know why doesn't this model work. This is why this model doesn't work. I believe in the year 1976, President Nixon did something that was outrageous, right? People don't understand, because I study economics, study history. The reason the US became a superpower and the reason why they were so like they're such influential in the today's, I guess, age in our lifetime is simply because of this, right? When World War II happened and all that fiasco happened, especially World War One, they got into World War II. The US started, they did a couple of things. Number one, they were creating and they had a lot of inventions. They were into an industrial age where there was a lot of factories and manufacturing and all of those things. So the US was kind of like the pill at the time. Everyone wanted to go there to work. Everybody, they were building an economy basically for the middle class. That's when the middle class started to birth, right? People stopped working from homes. That's when more things got institutionalized. Doctors stopped paying home visits, and they created institutions. And now doctors were in like basically buildings, and people go to see the doctors as opposed to the doctor come to see you. Then that's when they institutionalized banking. And then also during that time, they went on something called gold standard. So if you were born during that time and you had a US dollar bill, it was backed by gold. So people actually could take the US dollar, go to the treasury or go whatever, and change their US bill in equivalent to the gold amount at that time. So it was backed by gold. What that did is it strengthened the dollar. It strengthened the dollar. And because of that, they came together after World War II, the big leaders, and they came together. And what they did was they said that the US dollar is going to be the world's reserve currency. Why? Because US at the time was a growing superpower. Before the US, it was actually England. I think Europe or England, one of that. And so England's power started to diminish, and then now US started to rise. And the industrial age really pushed them and innovation, and that's where science and all these things started to come. God just really blessed America at that time with a lot of knowledge, wealth, and human capital. And so when they made the dollar as a standard, what happened is anytime we go to trade, people were using the US dollar. 1976, I believe, President Nixon did something absurd. They wanted to go to war and they wanted to print money. And I can go into the tax system, by the way, and I want to get into that because that's a whole new thing. The tax system was a temporary solution because of war. Because of war and they needed money, they taxed the residents because they needed the money in order to finance the war. So what ended up happening was they took the US dollar off the gold standard. President Nixon then pretty much wrote that bill. And then from there, that's where the printing of money started to escalate dramatically. That's why we see booms and busts and cycles, and because that's not normal, right? The dollar should be steady in value, but it goes boom and bust because they overprint it. Then they have to retract some of that back out of the economy. They overprint it, then they have to retract some back into the economy. So you see that the economy is having recessions and then depressions and all of these things, which is honestly not normal. I share this because if you guys understand again how credit works, the foundation of credit is in the system itself. So we grew to be in the system. So we have to learn what the system is. It's being used against us every single day. And if you don't understand this, you're getting poorer. Even if you're working day and night, putting money into savings, if you put your money into a savings account and it's only earning you 3% a year, and inflation is 5-6% a year, you're getting poorer 4% a year, making the same amount of money to the point where your living standard is going to drastically decrease, and you're going to find yourself not being able to purchase normal goods and services, or being able, basically your purchasing power starts to decrease, right? I can go more on this, but I don't. But I wanted to share this. Because when I learned this, that's when I was like, I'm never working for anybody again. I'd rather struggle to figure it out myself, work for myself. Because at the end of the day, at least I can bet on myself and continue to work hard. Nothing to say a job is wrong. I've worked lots of jobs. I've been manager. I worked at the bank, but I've also understood that if you don't make a game plan outside of your normal career, you're gonna the odds are stacked against. So you have to do something to beat the odds. Like you have to do something to be ahead. All right. So that old model doesn't work, right? It doesn't work because the US got off the gold standard. We use the US dollar for everything, and they've print trillions of dollars of paper, which I don't want to get into this, but the Brazil, China, Russia, now I think Iran, all the countries that hate the US, let's come together, and they're calling it BRICS or something, and they're coming off the US dollar, meaning they're going to do trade now without the US dollar, which is huge because if everybody gets off the US dollar, that US dollar, that all the trillions of dollars they printed and it's in the central banks around the world and the treasuries, it's going to come back to the US. And guess what? That's going to do. It's going to cause hyperinflation. And so when that happens, which is inevitable, it's going to happen. Our children, I don't know. That's why I'm working so hard because for my kids, I need to secure them, right? Our children are going to struggle drastically because they are in a system that is not designed for them to win. So we got to do something. And it's a serious thing, guys. We got to do something. We got to do it now. I don't know if you hear the sense of urgency in my voice, but you don't have much time. And I believe if you're here, you're not here by accident. All right, so let's continue. The only way to win in this game is to create a system strategy that outpaces the rate of inflation over time and government spending. Now, the new models: go to school, of course, get a career, secure your family, your assets, but you have to do something on the side. You have to do something on the side. You have to get educated. You have to save. You have to invest. You have to look into the stock market. The stock market makes the most millionaires. It's not real estate. People think it's real estate. Real estate makes probably, there's three areas of business that makes the most wealthiest people. That is the financial markets. Then you go into real estate, right? And then go into entertainment. And of course, you have entrepreneurship and business. But the big one is the financial markets. All rich people have some type of financial portfolio, right? Now, there's a lot of financial portfolios and investments that are not available to the average person, only to wealthy individuals. And those returns are astronomically good. Now it's not crazy amounts, but it's good enough to make them even more money. All right, next thing is to buy assets, create a will, retire, and of course, have your funeral. Now, credit secrets revealed. Number one, I'm just going to summarize this: build a profile. Okay, you need good credit history, good habits, open about 3 to 5 trades, revolving installment if it's good. You can also use Home Trust cards, Capital One, Spring Financial cards. I did mention in one of the videos, if you get a bank card, it's the golden one. It really builds your credit really fast. That's personally what I've seen. I've seen people from 0 to like 700, 800 in like 4 months. I'm like, how did you do it with one card? And I'm like, I've never seen that. But they had like an RBC card that they really, really used really well. Next thing is to getting added as an authorized user. Someone else's card is also a good strategy. And having a variety of credit types is important, and as well as what else you have, your age and your credit limit. Okay, next is number 2, make your payments on time. This is where I said before, try to pay in full, allow time for your transactions to process. The bank needs to make money, man. Let the bank make a little money, not too much, just a little, right? And then make your payment. If you cannot pay in full, at least 15 to 20% more than the minimum balance so that you can pay off the balance over time. If not, you only pay the interest till infinity. Number three, keep your utilization rate under 35. 50, I'll say top. 50 max. If you're over 50, stop using the card. Find ways to pay the card down, but get it to at least to 35. If you have a high balance, try to get it to that number. And let's say if you have $1,000 and you've used it, try to pay 750 right away. This one, don't wait for your bill to come. Go and pay off the 750 right away and bring the ratio down to 35% and let the 35% bill come to you. That bill will register and bank will see, I used the card, great, and it's not overused, and it won't bring your credit down. All right, if possible, don't max out the cards. And if you also get approved for another loan, such as a credit card line, credit personal loan, you can also transfer the balance, especially if it has a lower interest rate. Number four, don't apply for credit regularly, because if you get a lot of hits, it does impact you. Equifax has it where if you do get a certain number of hits and it's the same product, you do not have to kind of worry about it damaging your credit too much. You just take it as 1 point. They actually do have it on their website. All right, so I'll pass that. Question here is, what are some things you guys heard about credit? Some people mentioned it, and I have some fun facts. Pulling your credit does not affect you. Soft pulls does not affect your credit. Now, credit accounts typically do not show up on your credit right away. Like I said, it does take some time. There is a window of opportunity before it actually comes on your credit bureau. If you do not pay your collection items and you actually leave it there for 6 to 9 months, 6 years, 9 months, it will automatically come off of credit and jump up your credit. So depending on how old those profiles are, then you don't, in my opinion, I should just leave them, right? But again, it's good to pay the creditors, negotiate something. That's a whole new course on its own, how to negotiate with creditors and your rights with creditors. So maybe that's one I'll do on a later date to really break that down for those who are in that situation. However, if you want to mortgage, the debt must be paid prior to applying, and it will also hinder you from getting a loan. So if you're not getting any loans, sorry, if you're not getting any loans and you have bad credit stuff, just leave it and it will wipe off, right? And then from there, reestablish. But that's a long time waiting. So if you do need your credit, then my advice is to negotiate, pay some off. If you can pay for delete, which is so hard in Canada, I find US can do that. But if you can actually negotiate the creditor to pay, and then they can delete off your file, that is ideal. But it is very hard to do. But it's not impossible. Depends on the lender and the deal you negotiate. Okay, will also hinder you. Okay, said that already. The loans you do qualify for will be given to you at a much higher interest rate if you do have bad credit. Okay, another thing is the last 2 years of your credit plays the most important role. That's very crucial. On all applications, everything you do, the last 2 years plays a role. That's why they ask, what's the last 2 years address? Sometimes they say even 3 years. Last 3 years, address, information, last 2 to 3 years. Those, because that plays a major role in the algorithm. Any late missed payments, collections, judgments, closed accounts within the last 2 years has the greatest impact in the credit algorithm that impacts your credit. All right, if you call your credit company every 6 months and ask them to increase your limit, they will do that. If you have good history and credit is good, and you're managing your trades well, they will actually increase it. Sometimes they won't even ask for income documents, right? They literally just check your credit, sometimes check your credit, and they will give you the increase. Sometimes they won't even check your credit. They might do a soft pull, right? I always tell people, try to get a soft pull approval. So tell them, hey, can you do a soft pull approval? Call your lender, do a soft pull approval. If I can qualify for an increase without pulling my credit. If I do qualify for an increase, then I want to go to the bank. So what would happen is, of course, sometimes you go to the bank and they would ask for additional documents, income. You know, sometimes they do that and other times they don't. It just really depends on the lender. But at least you know that you qualify for an increase without having them to pull your credit. This is important because you don't want to keep asking for an increase and every 6 months you see that the creditor's pulling your credit. You don't want to do that. All right, next thing is you can use your loans as part of your down payment to buy a house, start a business, or make an investment.
Mr.
Right.
Isa, sorry to interrupt you there. I know you say it's a review for, those who were not there before, but just as you said at the beginning, when you listen to something over and over again, you learn, you get new insights. So I think Lisa has a question and we're going to give her the opportunity to ask that question because maybe as you're explaining it, something came up. So Lisa, I see your hands up. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay,
So I wanted
go
to
ahead.
know about you.
think I lost her. Lisa, you there? I think
Not only
I think you're
the
cutting out.
reward, those master. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. The reward Mastercards, like, are
Yeah.
those good to utilize? Like, not only are you getting money back, but it's also helping you build your credit. Like, it's one of those, like Walmart reward cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mentioned that a couple times. Yeah, if you can get reward cards, get reward cards. As a matter of fact, I know a couple of people who, my mortgage broker, for example, he uses his credit card and pays everything, his mortgage, car payment, everything on it. And then he pays it off in full at the end of the month. So he's paying like 5, 10K a month, whatever his expense is. And you know why? Because he has rewards for, I think, free like trips, right? And so by the end of the year, it gives him a free trip, right? So I think if you have a rewards card, maximize it. As long as you follow the rules, 35%, just make sure you're following the rules. And then just use the card and get the rewards and points. After all, you're gonna make the payment anyways, right? And the credit card is sitting there. Might as well get something free out of it, right? People might say, well, Mark, I don't want to pay any interest. And I'm like, well, then you weigh the cost and see how much interest are you paying compared to the rewards for the rest of the year. You're not holding a balance, so the interest shouldn't be too high. If it's when you hold a balance and it compounds, that's when it's a problem. But I think it's a great strategy. If you can find some, specifically one of my clients, I told them, try to only find reward cards. If you get only reward cards, at least you're getting something back in return, whether it's a cash back at the end of the year, getting something back from something you have to use anyways. Why not?
And okay, and one more. You mentioned having 3 to 5 like minimum credit cards. Would you be using all 5 cards to build your credit, or should you just mainly focus on like 1 or 2?
No,
But then,
use all of them, but rotate them. See, if you don't use your card for a certain extended period of time, the banks take it from you, right? They take the credit back to give it to somebody else. So in my home, if you have 3 to 5 cards, maybe use one for groceries, use one for gas, use one for like revolving expenses where every month comes out, Netflix, those things. So every month this card they take out $400, so I have to make sure 400 goes on it at the end of the month, and then you split the bills on the cards, and in that way you know that hey, at least this card takes all my gases. So if you need to be traced back and say, hey, look, I need to see all my expenses for my gas for the year. You use this card for it, and then you can just print your statement, and this is your gas card, or you know what I mean. So it's just how you want to structure. It depends. Everyone's different. So
smart. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, so let me continue. All right, so how long does it take to build credit? There's no timeline. It really depends. The algorithm depends on a lot of factors, but you can build it with 3 to 6 months. If you have no credit, you can build it really fast. You can build a credit profile of 700 to 800 within 3 months, 4 months, whatever. But the banks just don't look at credit score. They do look at age. They look at other factors. They look at who you are, how long, they look at other financial aspects. So just making sure that you build your credit fast to 800 is not a guarantee that you're going to have access to quadrillions of dollars. You need to build that history over time, right? So I wouldn't really necessarily worry too much how fast you can build it. I would recommend don't wait till you need credit to then build credit, then you want to build it fast. Just build it now and take your time and do the right thing and build it slowly. Because then when you need it, it's already established, and that age plays a huge role in the algorithm, right? Instead of trying to build it within 3 months, build it in a year and a half. And then the bank will look at it, yeah, you have a year and a half of history, which is good. All right, side hustles. I won't get too much into this. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And I'm going to skip this slide. All right. And of course, we will talk about trading in a bit. Wealth building, we talked about budgeting, maximizing debt, minimizing debts, maximizing cash flow, minimizing taxes, save and invest, buy assets, which is huge, and then protect those assets, and then create a will. Question, how many of you guys do follow a financial savings plan? We did ask that. And of course, we had an example where I broke down a savings plan done by Pauline. So if you guys want like a plan of, if I was to put up $20, $100 every month away for 10, 15, 20 years, how much money would I have during that time? And I think that's a good plan to have. All right, so then talk about the next.
One more, sorry again.
Yeah.
We have
Mhm.
two, let's see, I think Gloria said, please help with taking the fun facts a bit slower. And we have Ikina, what's the best practice to repair bad or poor credit? I think you say you're going to have a class on that, so maybe you can
Yeah.
elaborate a bit on that for her.
Yeah, I mean, every scenario is different. There's just different ways to structure depending on your situation. So we have debt consolidation where it's not like a consumer proposal, it's not bankruptcy. It's someone going on your behalf to negotiate existing contracts you have with lenders, and then they make a payment plan for you. They bring down the debt quite a bit. Some of them they're able to bring more than others, but then you make payment. But if you fall off the payment, does damage your credit or hurt your credit. But if you can continue making the payment and they make it much more affordable for you, that actually really helps your credit. And lenders like to see that. They like to see that if you've been behind, you did a debt consolidation and you following through with it. They love to see that because they see that, hey, you didn't fall behind on your thing. You didn't default on it. So you made an effort, you put that together, and now you're committing to that effort, and so we can lend money to this person. Like they established good kind of history on their profile. Next, of course, is consumer proposal, which is almost next to bankruptcy, where they kind of really go and negotiate your credit and with your creditors. And let's say you owe 100,000, they bring it down to 10,000. But you can't get credit for 4 years or 3 years or whatever the term is, and then you have to pay. Make sure you pay it. After you pay it, then you have to rebuild your credit after that. So the debt consolidation, you don't have to. You can get credit. It will build your credit within 6 months. You can get credit again. But with consumer proposals, you can't get it until the term is done. And then of course we have bankruptcy. I'm not a trustee, by the way. I just study a lot of this. Bankruptcy, of course, where they basically you're filing for bankruptcy and they're wiping away your debt. So they'll look at your assets, income, any money you have to kind of sell off the debt. And once it's sold off, you have no more obligation to that thing. And of course, you have to wait a certain period of time. Once that period of time is over, then you could go back and start rebuilding your credit once they've wiped it out. So with that, it's not like a payment plan. You're not paying that one. It's like you have $1,000 left and you owe 100,000. Fine, you're gonna pay your $1,000. You're gonna take that. You're gonna pay it, and you don't have to worry about it. The good thing too is, if you go to a trustee, they'll help you so that they protect your assets with a consumer proposal. I think bankruptcy, you probably may have to sell your home. And I've seen where clients file bankruptcy and they have maybe they're going through a divorce, whatever, file bankruptcy, and the gentleman, his portion of the house, the money he made, went to his trustee, and they took that money to settle the debts with creditors, right? So it just really depends, right, on the situation. Now, if you have like bad credit and you don't have assets and you don't have any of those things, you can just wait out some of the things, then you could wait it out. But if you owing Rogers, I've seen stupid things where people owe Rogers $300 and they're like, I refuse to pay because they shouldn't have dinged my bill. And then, Rogers ends up taking them to collections. Although the banks don't take it with a grain of salt, it's not going to kill your deals. But I've seen it drop people's credit. But when the banks see it, they understand what the telephone companies do. So, but they want to see it paid. So at least they want to see that you went ahead and been proactive and just paid it off. Even though it's in collections, they'll be okay with it. But when things are unpaid and you want a loan from the bank, they question it. So you have to make sure they're paid. And it really doesn't matter your credit. If you have bad credit, you go to B lenders or higher interest rate lenders. If you have bad credit and things are paid, or good credit and things are paid, you go to good lenders. But we have to explain what happened to your situation. So I think I have to do a course on that because there's rights and stuff that you have. And for example, them calling you and all that, you have certain rights, and you could just tell them to stop calling you. You know what I mean? There's certain things you could just tell these creditors to stop doing because you do have rights, and that's something I would have to do another webinar to really dive deep for those in that situation. But it's not for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you.
that helps.
Does that answer your question, Ikina?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
All right, so let's be, man, I said 10 minutes. I'm on 20 minutes. Sorry. So we have protect your assets. Step 3, start a side hustle. Step 4, invest other income streams, rinse and repeat. And of course, this was the next webinar, and we had an exclusive offer, which is still, I believe, on the table. If 10 people haven't taken advantage of it yet. All right, so now I want to, before I take questions on credit and go dig deep into certain things, I want to just kind of take a good 10, 15 minutes to show you some of the possibilities online. There's a lot of stuff, and I can't show you everything, but I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to do other sessions. Of course, this is the Billionaires Club. So we want, is it the Billionaires Club? Did I get that right? Billionaires Club? Did I get it?
Yeah, the Billionaires Connect.
Yeah, Billionaires
Okay.
Connect. So the billionaire, I just want to encourage you. For me, billionaire is not about money. It's about mindset. So
Mindset,
so I want you to, for me, if you ask me, Mark, I'll give you $1 billion. Would you take $1 billion, or would you take knowledge and wisdom? I would take knowledge and wisdom any day over $1 billion. The reason is $1 billion in these fiat currencies is kind of worthless, right? And because they're legal tender, the government say we can use them. It's great. They're printing a lot of them. That's why there's $1 billion, because they printed $1 billion worth of it. But when you have wisdom and knowledge, it's timeless. It's something that people will come and give you their gold, their silver, like King Solomon, all over because of his wisdom. They came from all over the world. That's how he got rich, right? They came for his wisdom, and people understood the value of being able to impart into somebody when they give you something. So they had to show that appreciation so they can finally receive. So I've learned this kind of principles as well, where if you are investing, especially in yourself, I really encourage you guys, so much resources available online that you can invest in yourself and get better. And that investment in yourself will help you so that you can eventually accomplish your goals. So don't always look for the freebies. It's good for free things, but sometimes the virtue is in the wisdom, and it's in the knowledge in the person. So when you want to tap into it, give something into it, and then of course you can receive it. Just like when we go to church and we sow seeds, you can also sow that seed. Okay, so I want to share something we have going on. So one side hustle that I've come to understand, there are some really talented people out there in the world. When I say talented people, very talented people, talented traders, talented musicians, talented entrepreneurs. Some of them are in third world countries. They are looking for opportunities that will help them also better their life. And some of them are doing really well. So I've come to understand that we can actually, you don't always have to have all the wisdom and knowledge and resources. You can also partner with other people and create something, or benefit from other people's efforts to create something for yourself. And an example I'm going to give is, for example, of course, before I make this, I want to make this disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, not giving you financial advice. I'm telling you guys what to invest in. I'm telling you what to do with your money. I guess I'm sharing what I am doing, what's working for us, and the pros and the cons. If you guys decide later on this is something you want to do, we're going to do an exclusive webinar in the Billionaires Connect group, and we're going to bring some of these players here so we can also help you guys. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is a Dragon PAM account. Those that don't know what a PAM account is.
This answer, I'm going to stop you there. Sorry. Before you go on to this one, we have one question. Let's answer that question because it has to do with credit score, and then you'll go into that. So Miss Gloria is asking, what happens if someone with her to great credit score starts to default with subsequent credit repayments? You don't have to take much time, but just give her a quick answer. And then, like you said, you will be doing a webinar on that. So we'll invite her in, but just a quick, 1 minute answer, please. And then we'll invite her to your session when you have it.
Okay, no problem. Say the question again.
So she's asking if someone you always had a great credit score, but you start to default with subsequent credit repayments. What happens? to that person.
So you mean so you had a good credit, but you started to default on some of the payments.
Yeah.
Now some of the payments, like okay, stuff happens, right? Life happens. People go through divorces, people pass away, people get sick. There's so many things that can happen. The banks are humans, they understand, but remember, it's a business. They have a contract. They're in it for business, right? But I also understand the human beings. And so if it's a one-off situation and something happens, I've seen a situation I told clients, if it's a one-off situation, see if the banks can have a grace period for you. And sometimes they remove it. Sometimes they actually remove it from your credit. If you ask and you explain your situation in writing, say, hey, this is what happened, and you take it to management, they can actually adjust that, right? Other times I just tell people if you stumble and you fall, now, yes, you stumbled and fall in that moment, but moving forward, just make sure you can get it right because over time, that stumble and fall becomes less in the peripheral view. Like the more you move forward, the less it makes an impact, if that makes sense. So if you're defaulting, something's happening, something's going on in your life that you probably need help. And so if you need a financial professional to help you restructure your finances, if you need to get a consumer proposal, if you need to get that consolidation, like don't wait till things get really bad to say, oh my gosh, But if it's in your power and your situation has changed and you need help, then find ways to make those adjustments. Now, if things haven't changed and it's just you forgot or went on vacation and just missed a payment, and it was just a negligent thing on your part, then I would say, okay, just jump on the thing back again really quick, start rebuilding, like pay your thing on time. Over time, it's going to be less impactful. That's like my best advice to that. I don't know if that makes sense. Or if I answered the question.
Okay, thank you. We have more questions, but let's go on with your presentation and then we'll answer all questions after. Is that okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Now the presentation is not going to be quick. It's going to be really quick, like just 10, 15 minutes. We'll spend the rest of the time answering questions. Then I'll dive deep into what you guys want me to respond to. So what I wanted to present here is basically something called copy trading PAMACAT. Now a lot of people call me in the last couple of weeks of trading. A lot of people are like, man, Mark, my money's it's just sitting in the bank doing nothing. If you have risk capital, of course, this is no guarantee, guys. There's a lot of risk to this thing. If you have risk capital and it's money you can afford to lose, not that you want to lose or you're going to lose, it's just you can afford. If it goes, it's not going to hinder your lifestyle. You're not going to get kicked out of your house or nothing crazy like that. But if you do have risk capital and you can trade in the financial markets, most likely if you try to do it on your own, you will lose your money because it's hard. It's really hard. I trade. I've lost a lot of money. I made money. So I get it, right? But there are people who are really good and they are willing to go into partnerships with people if they can raise enough capital. For example, this is a PAM account where you guys will have access to this. I am doing tutorials on how to get started, how it works, everything in the back end so that it is free. You don't have to join anything like my VIP or anything. This will be for the community. There's no guarantee though. I'm not going to guarantee any type of income claims. All I can say, I have my money invested. I'm wishing for the best, and so far they're doing okay. You can see that in the last month they've made about 23%, and I think I've been in it for a short while. Let me log in, and I only have 1,000 in here. And I share this because a lot of people are looking like side hustle income type of things that they can do. This is really passive. Literally, I didn't make a lot. $51. They took their fee out, and I'm netting 47. And I jumped in maybe a week and a half ago. Those that have been in it longer have realized 23% gain minus, of course, their fees. But yeah, so there's something like this where you can partner with very experienced traders is very, very one step. Another thing I want to show you is another trader that this is for crypto trading that I have partnered with a trader on Fairdesk. And again, I'm doing tutorials, it's going to be free. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. that you guys can participate. I only put $208 in this thing. Now, if I go to my dashboard here, oops, close this, put it here. I go to my dashboard and I show this account and I go to my assets, copy trade, and you can see this is the trader I have joined. This is the money he has realized for me in this trading. He takes 10% of the profit, so he does have something in it for him. And if I go to my positions, these are some of the open positions he has. If I want right now, I could close this and realize a gain of 10%. This one is going down. He can sometimes keep this open for like a couple of weeks. I just let him do his thing. So since I've kind of participated with this trader, so far I've realized a $56 profit. And again, it's not crazy amounts because I'm just testing the waters here. And I trade as well, but I put $208 in here. It's at 272 in a week and a half, right? 2 weeks or whatever it was. So I'm gonna leave it. One of my boys been it from December. He put 6,000. His account's at 20,000, literally. So he recommended this trader to me, and I said, okay, I will give him a shot. And if I go to other traders, I'm gonna show you guys here. These are traders all over the world, from China, India, Brazil, everywhere, talented people, where they all come in and people can follow some of these traders. Now, I do advise you really understand trading and get to know the trader, because the settings will determine how you will make your profit. If you put the wrong settings, you will lose money. So this is the trader I follow, and so far he's not doing too bad. Right now he has 925 people following him. Now he's had periods where he's lost money, but you have to be in it for the long haul. So when it dips down or whatever, just allow the account to recover and grow back. But imagine if you're making even 10% every quarter. That's a big difference for some people. Now that's a compound over a certain period of time, right? If you get 5 traders like that, how much difference would that make for you? Another trader we have, this gentleman here, he's one of my traders. I haven't got him funded yet, just because we're doing some other things, but he has an account. He's grown to 37% in the last, I think, from July till now. Of course, you can see the reds and the greens makes lose money. That's part of trading, but overall, he's made a 37% gain. He's big on risk management, keeping capital, not losing money. So his gains are smaller, but at least you don't lose your money, right? And he's a very conservative trader. Yeah, we have him on our belt. Another trader we haven't set up, but it's going to be for our VIP group. Again, he is a friend of mine from Toronto, runs a big kind of financial company behind the scenes, and he's doing well. And at one point they had this at 200%, 215, but gold did take a dive. They do trade gold a lot, and they're only up 75%, which is still not bad. From 100,000, they're at 75,000, right? So again, it really just depends on your risk appetite. Then lastly, I have this trade here where we go here and show you how you can leverage people giving you signals. And like someone will say, hey, put your money in at this time, and you put your money in at this time. And I'll show you how this trade works. It's actually pretty cool. Let's do 15 seconds. So this is binary option. It is a bit risky. Now there's a chance I could win, I could lose, but I would have to do a little bit of an analysis. Let's just say I did do an analysis and I put $1. If I do win within the 15 seconds, I would make 92 cents on the dollar, which I'll probably lose, but it's okay. But if I do lose, I lose the $1. So today I have been trading just to show you guys for today, for example, to give you an example of how it can work. I did do some trades the last couple of hours that put $150 in. Well, I lost that one trade, but as you can see, 28 trades, 71% win rate. I just made $55. I could take this out tomorrow, like right now, I'll get it tomorrow. And I've been able in the last couple of months turn like 1,000 to 27,000 to 14,000. Then I lost some money, then I won some money. But overall, I'm still profitable. So my goal is like I need to master financial markets so I can trade stocks, trade binary options, trade crypto, so that I can sit anywhere in the world and trade and make money. But at the same time, I have other side businesses working for me, and I have real estate working for me, mortgage finance, like mortgage investing, which is another seminar I can do to help you guys get started with mortgage investing, which is very lucrative and you can make a lot of money. Secure, if you want a secured investment, mortgage investments to me is one of the best ways. But yeah, so we have that going on. And of course, we have affiliate marketing. If you have a home-based business, and let's just say you want to grow that home-based business, there's strategies that I have where I think it's best for someone to build their company based on systems that are already there, get paid if people buy into the system, and they're getting education, they're getting the tools they need. And then later on, you can introduce your product or service, whatever you do to them, and see if they want to join your team, as opposed to trying to call everybody from Timbuktu to join you. It's actually the hard way to do it, in my opinion. If you are a doctor, nurse, anybody, you have any type of talent or anything of that nature, there's places you can go where, let's say Udemy, I don't know if you guys know this website, there's places you can go that you could actually create courses and put them online for hundreds and thousands of people to purchase. And this is one of those places. So this, if you guys want a nice digital thing, you could actually literally create a course, which with ChatGPT, the technology nowadays, it's not hard to get the content, but you have to put a little bit of personality and personal things into it. So it's not like someone doesn't buy and think it's just like it's all technical robot type of computers type of thing, right? But if you're able to get it to help you, you can actually create courses, and a lot of people put their stuff here. And also, you can go here to also buy courses to learn. So you can actually come here and pick something that you want to learn. Some people learn computer programming, right? You can buy a course like this one, 7,000 people have purchased, right? This person, 294,000 people purchased this course. Makes me understand like this is a very good course. $129, I can learn computer programming for $129, and I can use to start a side business, or I can use to create my own website that I can use to go to brick and mortar websites, like stores around my local area that don't have the knowledge, that don't know how to make a good website, make a couple for free for people, build your portfolio, and then say, hey, look, this is what I created. And then you can get clients and say, I can do the same thing for you, and I can get you more business. If you need marketing, and there's like social media marketing, or something they call is small, I forgot what it's called, but you're able to be a marketer for small businesses and social media marketing for small businesses. People do that. I think they call it marketing agency, a social media marketing agency for small business. And you can do that as well. Just acquire the skill sets and go after. Now, the beauty of online is it doesn't only have to be local. It could be anywhere in the world. And that's why I love that. Another aspect you could do is you can even create an ebook and put it on Kindle, right? Go to Kindle is there, Amazon is there. To become an Amazon affiliate, you could have drop shipping stores, which I'm not going to go into all of that, but I've tested all of that, and I decided, you know what, this is what I want to do. The other ones I kind of have general knowledge of, and people who have excelled in it in the past and millions that I could create like a workshop, but they probably charge for that. But at the end of the day, they will help you get to that level if that is something you want to do. And I'm just bringing you guys different things so that you guys can get your creative juices flowing. There's another thing here called Fiverr. I go here to hire people for different tasks, but you can also, where is it? Let me see, come on. But you can also put your, whatever you can do here. So if somebody is, let's say, looking for a writer, digital marketing, graphic design, speech writer, people even have things for like reading over essays. You name it, it's on you. And people are providing that service and they're getting paid. So that is something that is also there that you guys can consider. And of course, we have the Amazon store and drop shipping. And then we have TikTok, TikTok shop, and a bunch of other stuff that are there as well, which one day I'll probably do a workshop and bring other people to teach you guys who are specialized in that. But again, Let's pick one thing. If you guys have something that you want to do, and you like, Mark, have ideas. What can I do to bring these ideas to life and monetize it? That's why you have to join Billionaires Connect. So we can do workshops and help you guys bring out those ideas and monetize it, because the world is your oyster. And I strongly believe in this day and age, if you're not online, you're missing the mark. So much money online, and I think we have to tap into that. I'll leave it at this note, and I'll leave the floor open to questions if you guys have it.
Thank you so much. So if anyone has any question at this time, let me know. Mac, you want to stop sharing for now for me, please?
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Gloria is asking, are you asking how you register to join the group? Taiwo, can you drop the link for her, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Somebody wants you to explain drop shipping. Tammy asked you to explain drop shipping.
Okay. All right, so drop shipping is okay, so I think it'll be best if I show it to you. Give me 1 second. It won't be a long share. Give me 1 second. Okay, so has anybody heard of this website? Has anyone heard of Alibaba Express? Well, that is not the one I'm looking
I
for.
think we all do, yes.
Yes.
So Alibaba, right? Alibaba.com. There's Alibaba, there's a bunch of other stores. So drop shipping is basically connecting with a manufacturer or supplier. And what happens is, a regular business, you have to buy products and buy stock and then stock it. And then when somebody makes the purchase, you then wrap it and then you ship it. So what drop shipping is, it's kind of like a partnership with the manufacturer, where you create your label, you have your return address, everything. You're the storefront, but they're the fulfillment team. So they fulfill the order and you're the storefront. So you just have to promote their product. And then when someone buys, they send you the money, you go to the website, you place the order for behalf of the client, and that order, then they send it out to the client package with your logo and everything. So the client will think it's coming from you, but it's actually coming directly from the manufacturer, right? If they have to return it, guess what? They return it right back to the manufacturer, type of thing, and then you deal with the refund request. But drop shipping is a way where you can promote products. It's tangible products. It's not digital products, tangible products that you don't have to have physical inventory level, and you just need to market it. When people buy the units and they buy it, the manufacturer will ship it for you. Now, the manufacturer is going to sell it to you at a certain price. So let's say it's a t-shirt. They might say, okay, the t-shirt is $6. You can mark it up $23.99, right? $23.99 for shipping, or whatever the deal is you want to do. Maybe have 3, 4, 5 solid products that you want to drop ship, and then you can use that to put into your store. Someone buys it, you take the money, give the manufacturer $6, and then you keep the difference, which then becomes profit. So that's drop shipping in a nutshell.
Thank you for that. Tammy's asking, is it easy to get companies to work with?
I mean, it's drop shipping is not new, and it's not hard to get companies to work with. The challenge, I guess, with drop shipping is finding products people want to buy, right? So with technology, it's kind of like you have to find a niche and find things that people want to buy. And sometimes it's the most simple thing, most stupidest thing. Like it could be a cup that it has like hearts, right? Just something that people want to buy. But the problem is there's people also with technology that kind of bots out there that kind of gauge what is actually happening. And then they jump into the market, and guess what? They start selling what it is you're selling. So now it becomes about a little bit of competition. So with drop shipping, I realized you either have to be right in the forefront and get right and find something people want to buy, max it out as much as you can, because once people see that it sells, you're gonna have a lot of competition coming after your market. Another thing people do is they do that. So they look at what is actually selling, and then they just, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and get a big piece of the pie, they just get a small piece of the pie out of a lot of pies. And so that way they make money too. So they see what's already selling, and you just got to create your own media content to kind of promote it. And there's just different ways to promote a TikTok and all these type of things where people see it. I don't know if you heard the phrase "TikTok made me buy," right? That type of thing. Just do something creative. People look at it and like, I want to buy it, and you buy it. Now you could also create something from drop shippers, create a product with companies that is very exclusive and unique to you that people can't steal. And then that will have a more niche market, but at least nobody can take your product, right? So there's that as well. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, what are the startup costs like? You have an idea?
Typically the startup cost is your cost to run your softwares. So it depends if you're going to use Shopify. There's the Amazon store. I think Amazon's free. Or if you're going to build your own online store, which you can. So the overhead is very, very, very low. I would say a couple of thousand is all you need, literally, to build $1 million business online. You could probably start for free, right? But keep in mind, if you're starting for free, I say start for free to test the waters. But once you find something that's working, you should register your domain name. Then you have to get more into the business aspect, register your business, and then all those other entities. But yeah, the website, then there's the domain. Most of the time, the website provides the hosting, so you don't have to get your own hosting. And then there's even some people that I've come across that does everything for you for a price. So they actually build your whole store, everything, drop shipping, all the products, everything for you, and then you pay them for that. But when you do that, because they're doing it for other people, it's not as unique. So I always say, do a little bit more research, see what people are buying on TikTok, create a couple of products, and then just start getting your feet wet. You don't need a lot of money actually to start. So what some people do is they sell some of the products, and then they use the money that they're earning to invest back into the business to buy those things later on. Because there's a lot of free software that you can use for 30 days for free, 2 weeks for free, those type of things. Take advantage of them.
Okay, thank you so much. We have Lisa Reza, and we have one more question in the chat, but let's go to Lisa because she has her hand up, and then we'll come back to Nora's question. Lisa, can you go unmute yourself and go ahead, please?
Yes, I have two questions. So my first one is just about building profiles. So I know it was mentioned a while back to work on a building profile for credit. Would you say it's wise to do it for a business? So let's say you have more than one business ideas. Would you say it's a good idea to have different businesses going to making you money, or is it a bit of a scatterbrain idea to do that if you just focus on one thing at a time?
Yeah, I know that's like one of the questions I always ask myself.
Yeah,
Should I
I
focus on
always
one
have so
thing?
many ideas. I'm like, what should I do?
So what I found works for me, I'm the type of person, when I focus on one thing, I do it really well.
Okay.
When I focus on too many things, I do it well, but not well enough. And I don't, and the results are just slower. So I want you to think of it as, okay, first of all, have as many business and income streams as possible, but you can't do it all at the same time, right? So you got to ask yourself, what can you focus on right now, put your energy in, and build to the level that you are satisfied. Then hire people or buy software, whatever you need to automate it as much as possible so you don't have to have so much of your hands in. That's for me when I'm my process where I'm at now building my online business. So I'm building for I do everything right now and I'm overwhelmed. I told my mother-in-law, I'm like, I need help. But I realize that I do everything. And it's hard to let go of the help because they won't do it the same way I want it, but I have to get over that hump and then allow people to just help me because I'm at the point where I'm going to start getting a lot of customers. I'm getting a lot of customers, clients. I need help to fulfill and service them so that they are satisfied with what we provide. When you get to that point, then you get the help. And then when you get to that point, After that, then you can decide to jump into something else. So I would advise you that if you have one idea, try um, to focus on one, right? However, what I did was I wasn't sure which idea I wanted to commit to. So I did a bunch of stuff to
Okay.
see how they would flow. And then from what I saw working, I started to put my emphasis on what was working.
Right. Okay, smart.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, I like that.
today I was sitting down and I was looking at the pocket option of Swoon because I have a course and I teach people how to trade on it and it's free. Like that's something that I will send a link later in the Billions Connect. And I realized that the broker pays me when people trade on the platform. And just because I did a free course and I did a YouTube video which has 30,000 views and over 400 people have signed up under my link, and I just did one video and I was
Wow.
looking at it, I was like, wow, I made $2,000 from this, passively doing nothing. And I didn't expect that. So I'm like, wait, I could scale this thing. I could push this thing more and help more people. And instead of 2,000, I could make it 200,000 by the end of the year. So
Right.
although my attention was not there, now today I sat down, I was like, okay, I need to put my attention here because I can help a lot of people and it'll make me a lot of money. And it's already moving. It's not something now I have to get going. So that's what I would recommend. I don't know. It works for me. It's a little different, but test the
Yeah,
waters.
no, that's smart. I like that because I found that I heard if you, say, example, you do a podcast, you could use that
Mhm.
podcast studio to do a YouTube, from a YouTube, a blog, and then it just
Mhm.
kind of works itself out. But the
Mhm.
other question I have, I kind of want to go overseas to do a business. Is that a good idea? Or should I just focus in? Someone said if you can make it in Toronto, you can make it anywhere. So it's like, should I just focus on where I my
I think Pauline knows the answer to this.
right? No, seriously, because I was like, I was thinking about going to Jamaica and I wanted to do a couple of things there, but I'm like, is that a wise idea? Should I just stick to the home front?
I mean, is it a local business? Is it an online business? Like it depends on your niche market where they are. Right?
Yeah, it would be a local business with someone else, and then there was the online aspect, so I want to do two.
Okay, so if you were to start, you would start where on offline.
Yeah, and then I have another thing that was going to be online,
So where's the most
a
purchasing
job
power?
shipping. Um, uh, well, the online, but then according to this person, exactly what we want to do, it was like that will also generate money as well.
Okay,
That's
so
more local.
so if it's more local, the purchasing power is it more heavier in Toronto or Jamaica?
Um, well, what we want to do is Jamaica, so it would be more just like
Mhm.
lucrative there.
Yeah. So if your target market is there, then you have to go there. I think when it comes to business, we have to take our feelings out of it. I think what I've learned is what I think is best for people is not what they think is best for them. So I've
Right.
learned not to make any prejudgments, and I try to find out what people want, and I just give it to them because that's what they're gonna pay you for, right? So my best advice is if your business can flourish in Jamaica, do a market research and segment, do a test in both markets. Heck, do one in Toronto and do one in Jamaica. Measure the results. Maybe your business will flourish better in Toronto. Who knows? But you won't know unless you do a little kind of pre-test,
Right.
pre-waters, like do pre-sales, right? Try pre-sales. If it's a service-based business, give some for free. See the reaction you get in the market. Test the waters first. I've learned that, and I've learned that through coaching, where people make the product first and expect the market to be there. No, you have to go to the market and let the market create the product. And once the market creates the product, then it's easier to sell because there's already a market for it and people will pay for it. Does that make sense? And so I would urge you
Yeah.
try both markets, do free sales, whatever it is. If you want to contact me, we brainstorm, then that's fine. Then we can talk about different strategies you can employ. Because of course, if it's digital, it's a different strategy than if it's physical and all those type of things, right? So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Lisa. Tammy okay, before Tammy, I think Nora said, can you go through Lively one-step trading solution?
say that again.
She would like you to go through, maybe not, in depth, but just give her a light steps on one-step trading solution.
Okay, so when it comes to trading, trading is a very difficult task because it requires discipline. It requires you controlling your emotions, you controlling your beliefs on money, right? I lose money when I get emotional. And sometimes I'm trading, I'm losing, I should stop. I know my principles, I know my guy, I should stop. It's like, no, I want to get my money, but I know I'm not going to get my money in that market that day. I have to stop. So there's a lot of discipline that's required. There's different forms of trading. Trading is a skill. It is not, it's a, people say it's gambling, but if you think about it, everything is a form of gambling. We're always trying something with no guarantee of anything. So if you want to say trading is gambling, everything is gambling. Heck, if you get into a marriage, it's a gamble, right? You don't know if it's going to work out. If it's not, we all have faith it's going to work out. But that's why there's a lot of divorce lawyers. It doesn't always work out. But it doesn't stop us from trying. So what I would recommend is if you want to get into trading, before you even get into trading, learn how the financial markets work. Buy Webull, get like an app from TD, like buy simple stocks, right? Maybe currency trading if you want to do that. Maybe start to learn about currency trading. The one-step trading system that I show where you go in and you click high or low. There's actual professionals that do the signals for you. In my VIP group, I've bought a bot and I've also paid for an exclusive membership for my group where seven-figure traders are sending us signals every day for a certain period of time, and the bots are sending signals as well. And my group gets to trade out of their will. And I teach them proper risk management and all that, and they get to trade on their own. So you don't have to do the analysis. When the person says buy, you buy, sell, you sell. Just got to make sure your risk is a certain level. Now, if you want to get into Forex and you say, Mark, I don't have time to trade. Okay, great. We have professional traders trading for us. Put your money in there, let them trade it, and you split the profits with them. There's no risk of profits, but that's a one-step system where you put the money and it just works for you. But there's no guarantee. But of course, we are always going to make money. And I always tell people, once you get your original principal back, take out your money, let the profits roll, right? We have that. And then, of course, we have stock trading. But I think for the average everyday person, the best advice, I wouldn't even say advice because I'm not a financial planner, but one of the recommendations I would say is look into dollar cost average investing using index funds. So in the stock market, if you study the stock market for the last whatever so years, the stock market has always been going up, right? Of course, it goes down, crashes, blah, blah, but in general, it has always gone up. So if you had stocks, you bought it 50 years ago and you just held on to a position in the stock market, or you held on to Apple, you held on to Google, and you just allow the stock to grow over time, by now you would probably have a 6 or 7-figure portfolio. Because over time, because of inflation and printing money, all these kind of things, but also these companies are also producing, they are also innovating, they're creating new things. They're like the leaders of the world when it comes to tech. So you might want to watch that. Other people say, Mark, I want to invest in gold. You can actually buy gold and gold stocks and gold positions and Forex, like, whatever, just buy gold and hold on to gold. Because over time, because money devalues, the value of gold goes up. So even over time, if you had bought gold a couple of years ago, right now you'd be sitting really pretty. A lot of people don't teach us these things, right? So now that I've learned this, it's like I have to teach my community, right? There is high risk to it, but these are what the wealthy people are sitting at their table every single day and they're talking about. But they will never tell their employees to go buy gold. Rather, they'll tell their employees, work harder, you scrub the floor really good, your promotion is coming, I'm going to give you a 10 cents raise, They won't say go buy stocks and hopefully the stocks will go up in 5-10 years because that's what they're doing. They want, to share the wealth, but that's what we're here for. So to answer your question, one-stop trading, I think before you even start to trade, just to learn the basics of the financial markets, especially like start with stocks and index funds, my advice. Because it's much easier to get your feet wet.
Thank you, Matt. We have one last question before we leave. Could you explain mortgage deferral pros and cons? So we kind of moving up to 10. So if you can keep that short, because we do want to have our draw done, I guess people, need to go to bed. So can you explain mortgage deferral pros and cons first, please?
Okay, so a mortgage deferral pros and cons. Okay, so the deferral program came in existence because of COVID. People couldn't pay. For those that don't know what a mortgage deferral program is, it's strictly when the banks say, hey, don't pay for 6 months. The 6 months you don't pay, the interest that is accumulating, we're just going to put it back into the mortgage, right? The pro of it is you get instant relief of cash flow. You don't have to worry about making any payments for a certain period of time, right? But the biggest drawback is you just push back your amortization of your mortgage like more years. Like it's going to take you longer now to pay off your mortgage, and you're taking the interest, you're putting it back into the loan, so it will build more interest, right? Because it's interest on top of interest. So not only are you not paying your principal, you're also not paying your interest. So now your mortgage is going to go up. It's going to take you longer, and you're going to pay more and more interest. I will say only do it if financially it relieves you and keeps your house and you don't lose it. However, if you don't have to defer it, then don't defer it. As a matter of fact, I would advise not to. But if you do defer it and situations change later down the road, then use the prepayment privilege where you can put 20% of, let's say, the mortgage balance or 20% of your outstanding balance or whatever it is, the prepayment privilege on your mortgage. Um, Understand what that is, and then, of course, make additional payments in the future to offset that interest payments that you allow to go back into your mortgage. At least you could make those payments over time and it will bring down the mortgage down quicker. So that's a strategy you can use. Now, whether it's good for you or not, I can't say. It really depends on your situation, your goals, your financial situation, your family, and all that to really distinguish if it's a good strategy
Okay, thank you. Do we have any question? I noticed Tammy's asking about drop shipping. We did talk about that, Tammy. If you do have any other question, you can always send that to, the Billionaires Connect Facebook group or Instagram group, and Mark will get in touch with you and give you more information. I also noticed Lisa answered that you can check YouTube for more info on drop shipping. So, Mac Answer, I want to thank you for all the insights that you've provided us. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Before we leave, I would like to ask anybody who's been here for all the session, if you could let us know, because we do have the draw. It's coming up. It's time for the draw right now. So we'd like to have the names of those who attended all session. I know some people came in a bit later. So can you tell me, let me see, by show of hand, okay, Lisa has been there all the time. Who else? Do we have anybody else? Tasha, anybody else? If this is your third session, you can indicate with your name and phone number. I would like to have the draw right now. Nora, is that your third time? Oh, I love your hand raise. That's good. So we've got 3. Anybody else? I think I saw somebody. Weren't you there for all session, Michael? I haven't heard anything from you. Okay. So we've just got 3 only. Okay, who's this? Lisa. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Anybody else? Okay, so I am gonna spin the wheel. Taiwo, are you able to come on right now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So can you do the spin the wheel, Taiwo, with the names? We only have 3 people. So how would you like to do it? Because we do have some newcomers. What would you like to do?
1 second, please.
Okay, thank you. Good information. Thank you.